So if you do not launch deeper to understand who God is, you remain the normal villager, the normal village champion they've always known. Simon, a normal fisherman in the village. For all those years, normal fisherman. Now he takes time to understand who Jesus is. When Jesus asks, who do people say that I am? Boom! He says, you are the Christ. And now Jesus says, because you know me, let me also tell you who you are. You are Peter, the rock. Put in the work to know me. Also, let me tell you who you are. Thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. You see? In other words, Peter, because you put in time in the spirit to understand who I am, now also, let me define you who you are. You only understand yourself when you understand Jesus. Don't get it twisted. Outside Jesus, every other thing is a lie. If you do not understand Jesus, so in other words, this is the sequence. Understand Jesus to understand yourself. But some of us first, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Every time you study yourself, you never understand who you are. But you study and you know God, guess what? You end up knowing yourself. Every man that has studied Jesus has found themselves. Most people spend so much time saying, I'm this lawyer and this, and then they go and then they do. Studying is very good, don't get me twisted. But after all that time, just for you to come back and understand that you were actually not a lawyer, you were a philanthropist. And then someone says, I wasted my life. You know why? Because you did the first things last and the last things first. That's the problem with the children of God. We do what is priority as peripheral, and we treat what is peripheral as priority. And now after years, you're like, I wasted my time. You see? So if you really, really want to know who you are, study Jesus. Because now he reveals to you who you are. You are only identified through Jesus. Every other identity is erroneous.